2008, how the world sees Barack Obama's victory and how Obama sees the world. Next on Global Pulse. A half-hour special report, Election 2008 in the Eyes of the World. July 2008. After a grueling primary season, McCain and Obama square off. With less than 4 months till Election Day, Barack Obama mounts the world stage.
Presidential candidate Barack Obama departs for an international tour. An army of journalists cover his every move. So what happened to John McCain?
There is no challenge too great for a world that stands as one.
Barack Obama is on a week-long journey through the Middle East and Europe. With a captivated caravan of media covering every step, Obama made news worldwide from Mexico all the way to Japan.
Barack Obama estuvo en los dos países que
كما أكد أوباما أن المصالحة
As Obama mania went international, all three major U.S. network anchors rode along with the Obama entourage, guaranteeing his trip would be the focus of each show. Lou Dobbs on CNN showed just how much the media favors Obama.
Voters have no doubt that the media is biased in favor of Senator Obama. However, a recent Rasmussen poll shows nearly 50% of voters say the media will try to help Obama win this election.
Internationally, the absence of McCain coverage is even greater. As Israel's The Media Line shows with this video, Israelis aren't really sure who he is.
Yes, I
know Mr. Barack Obama, and remind me the other one.
Barack Obama. No, השני לא. אולי צ'יין.
So why has the world not embraced McCain as a candidate? As Deutsche Welle, the BBC, and Al Jazeera English show, many are ready for someone different and already treat Obama like the president.
For the people of Baghdad, the visit is being welcomed, albeit cautiously.
We count on Obama, if he wins the elections, to make a positive change and to adopt a policy better than one pursued by Bush on Iraq.
And for Iraq's political class, it offers a chance of a welcome change.
No doubt his vision is far from the current US administration, and he has no history of working with them. In other words, Obama will try and investigate different opinions and get new information on Iraq.
Barack Obama's schedule included a brief trip to the West Bank. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas briefed the Democrat presidential hopeful. Obama said he would be a constructive partner in efforts towards peace. Obama congratulated Israel on its 60th anniversary and described the Jewish state as a miracle.
The greatest wishes: be a great president of the United States. That is the greatest promise for us.
At times today, you had to pinch yourself that Barack Obama was not president already. Even a clutch of demonstrators seemed to have forgotten he's still only a senator from Illinois.
Fantastic, Obama.
Nasser Abdul Hadi has decided to call his best-selling snack Obama pastries.
You're investing a lot of dreams in a man you hardly know.
Yeah, well, as a Palestinian person, what do I have to lose? I have nothing to lose. I've lost everything with Mr. Bush and the people before. So I have nothing to lose. So maybe this time it will work.
But not everyone is pleased with Obama's trip. As China's Asia Today report,
Obama is struggling to overcome wariness among some Israelis and some Jewish voters in the US about the strength of his commitment to Israel. But he also dismayed Palestinian leaders when he said last month that Jerusalem should be Israel's undivided capital. Meanwhile, in Gaza, the ruling Islamist Hamas group said their expectations about Obama's visit were low.
This visit is related to the election situation at present in the US. The Palestinian people do not expect any change in the American policies, even if Obama reaches the head of the government in America.
So then, where is John McCain? You know, the other candidate? While The Daily Show spoofed McCain's frustration, he's made a video satirizing media obsession with none other than Barack Obama.
The media's love affair with Barack Obama is all-consuming.
I felt this thrill going up my leg.
Almost hard to remain objective.
August 2008. At the Democratic Convention, Obama's bid for the presidency is formalized, generating a frenzy of worldwide media coverage. For a moment, the world seems to be blinded by Obama.
The Democrats gather in Denver to nominate Barack Obama as their presidential candidate. But the multi-million-dollar extravaganza overshadows major crises around the world. From the towering podium to the choreographed speeches, international coverage of the Democrats' big show wasn't much different from what you saw in the U.S.
They want this to be the greatest political show on earth. It is, in all but name, a coronation for Barack Obama.
U.S. Senator Hillary Clinton has delivered her much-anticipated speech to the party faithful.
Michelle Obama delivered a speech that highlighted the values shared by her family.
But outside of Denver, the world inched closer to chaos. Al Jazeera, CCTV, and Russia Today bucked extensive coverage of the Democrats in favor of events that would have an impact long after the convention.
A unanimous vote in both houses of parliament paves the way for Russia to become the first country to recognize South Ossetia's and Abkhazia's independence.
Change in relations between Russia and NATO are growing in strength. NATO vessels are in the Black Sea to provide humanitarian aid for Georgia and give a helping hand. Russia sees it more like a fist.
News also from Pakistan. Former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has pulled his group out of the ruling coalition, blaming the Pakistan People's Party for breaking promises. He says the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz has now been forced to quit as a result.
The UN says it's found evidence that 60 children were among those killed in the western Herat province. It claims that 15 women and 15 unarmed men also died. The UN's figures differ greatly from the US's version of events.
But everything wasn't completely lost. Some media groups tried to connect the convention to world events. Iran's PressTV questioned Barack Obama's peace credentials, while the BBC brought up the conflict between Russia and Georgia.
If Barack Obama were president today, how would he handle the Russia crisis?
I think he would convene the Security Council and immediately try to get a resolution condemning the aggression, warning Russia if they continue on this path, there are going to be even more dire consequences.
But the perception amongst the American public in opinion polls so far is that Barack Obama is not tough enough on this issue and that John McCain is.
Well, I think people should be focusing on, and will be focusing on, is the history of his judgment. I think most Americans now recognize that our decision to go into Iraq was a terrible mistake.
But we're now ready to go to Denver, where close to 10,000 people have held anti-war protests, calling on U.S. Democratic presidential hopeful Barack Obama to maintain his anti-war policy.
I think that a true anti-war peace candidate would be calling for bringing our troops home from Iraq and Afghanistan, no war on Iran. He's been very militaristic about Pakistan and this Georgia-Russian. So, you know, he is not a peace candidate.
South Korea's KBS found a link between another brewing crisis and the Democratic Convention. It questioned the timing of North Korea's decision to suspend its denuclearization program.
North Korea condemned the U.S. for not taking it off the terror list, even though it already handed over its nuclear report in June to the U.S. It is interesting that North Korea is taking a hardline stance while the U.S. Democratic National Convention is going on and Chinese President Hu Jintao is visiting South Korea.
The U.S. presidential election is getting serious, so North Korea is trying to draw attention to the nuclear issue in an effort to benefit from it.
So why is America so mesmerized by the convention razzle-dazzle when other major events are changing the world? Russia Today got a blunt assessment from Russian President Dmitry Medvedev.
Well, as far as I know, each of the candidates is spinning the situation for themselves. Usually during the elections in the United States of America, the voters are quite indifferent to what is happening abroad.
October 2008. With only weeks to go before the election, the presidential debates swing world opinion towards Obama.
The presidential debates between John McCain and Barack Obama drew worldwide attention. Some media outlets were quick to declare a winner, while others dug for a deeper story.
Senator Obama has spent more money on negative ads than any political campaign in history.
100%, John, of your ads, 100% of them have been negative.
The debates between Barack Obama and John McCain could almost be characterized as a political schoolyard brawl. Coverage by Iran's PressTV, China's CCTV, Russia Today, and the BBC made clear who they thought was the winner and the bully.
It was an ill-tempered presidential debate. Republican candidate for the U.S. presidency, John McCain, referred to his Democrat rival, Barack Obama, rather dismissively as that one.
McCain came out fighting and repeated some of the most negative campaign allegations about the Illinois senator.
In the United States, snap polls after the final televised debate between the presidential candidates give Democrat Barack Obama a clear victory.
Senator McCain went into the debate saying he's prepared to whip Obama's, quote, you-know-what. According to early polls, his own you-know-what has been whipped.
The favoritism shown Obama wasn't surprising, according to results of polls in 24 nations conducted by the Pew Research Project. 84% of people surveyed in France said they had confidence in Obama. In Japan, it was 77%. In Spain, 72%. In Brazil, 58%. And in South Korea, 56%. While most media focused on the action inside the debate hall, Russia Today discovered another story unfolding outside.
A peaceful anti-war protest 1 minute, and a screaming, heaving mass of riot police and protesters the next. Over a dozen protesters were arrested, many war veterans.
We saw tonight how veterans of this country are treated, and that's a shame. Both of them claim that they support veterans, and this is how we got supported tonight, by being pushed back, trampled, and arrested.
The debate's non-stop verbal sparring didn't sit well with some media, including France's TV5.
We found the debaters to be more combative than in the first debate. Can you confirm this impression?
Yes, absolutely. We sensed a lot more aggression compared to the first debate, and it was even a bit annoying at times.
John
McCain had warned that he was going to reorient his campaign in a more aggressive manner, and this was certainly the case. What was a bit annoying was that each candidate just looked to criticize the position of the other, to the point of caricature.
Verbal jabs aside, the BBC zeroed in on what it saw as one of McCain's weaknesses.
Tens of millions of Americans have watched these debates and have had an opportunity to form an opinion not just about the policies of the candidates, but about their characters. And McCain's weakness, according to the polls, is his angry look.
And I'm not going to stand for somebody saying that because someone yelled something at a rally. There's a lot of things that have been yelled at your rally, Senator Obama, that I'm not happy about either.
While most of the media gave Obama the edge, Venezuela's Telesur and Jazeera weren't so sure.
Even though overnight polls say Obama won Tuesday's debate by a comfortable margin, undecided voters in some swing states say they weren't so sure.
They're not telling me that I'm going to be okay.
For some people, the debate was a great disappointment because neither of the candidates showed they had a real plan to jumpstart the economy of the nation.
Spain's TVE didn't forget Americans living abroad. It went in search of the McCain crowd with a bit of humor.
Away, away rode the rebel Johnny
With eyes fixed on tonight's debate, we went in search of supporters of the candidates in Spain. Among the tasty nachos, we ran into members of Spain for McCain.
Obama is dangerous because he's a radical.
John McCain is an authentic American hero. He represents the best ideals of the United States.
Although they make a lot of noise, Republicans are definitely the minority in Spain.
Away rode the rebel Johnny
November 2008. Obama's victory signals many changes in the U.S., but to a startled world, it is mostly about race.
Media worldwide asked if the United States could elect its first black president. Americans answered. Racism in the 2008 U.S. presidential election.
If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, tonight is your answer.
Barack Obama's victory answered the question France's TV5 and other world media asked in the weeks leading up to the election. Could the United States overcome its long history of racism?
American history turns out to be bloody. In June 1964, the KKK assassinated 3 anti-racist militants, 2 white, 1 black. The scandal turned into a movie, Mississippi Burning. The man responsible for the murders was convicted in 2005, 40 years after the fact.
RT and the BBC found that generations of racial hatred in the U.S. fueled fear Obama might lose the election just because of the color of his skin.
You can't act in this election as if race doesn't matter, can you?
No, you cannot. It matters. It matters an awful lot. There are some people who will be very open and say, I would have voted Democrat, but I'm not going to vote for a black man.
There will be people that will vote against their own vested interests just because he's an African American.
And this has been my fear from the beginning. It's a racist nation. And it does worry me, but I'm hopeful.
And then there was the extreme. Al Jazeera proved if you went searching for openly racist Americans, you'd find them.
There's a sense among many whites here that they'll face retribution somehow from an African-American president for the country's discrimination against blacks in the past.
The white people have put the Negroes in the back of the bus for years. And if we're not careful, we're going to be in the back of the bus and they're going to be in the front.
The divisive nature of this campaign has brought out into the open what's usually discussed behind closed doors in America.
I'm afraid if he wins, the black will take over.
I don't like the fact that he thinks us white people are trash, because we're not.
Iran's PressTV took it even further. Their analysts openly accused the Obama campaign of shoving the race issue under the political rug.
This is a black revolution. It's a quiet black revolution in the U.S. The Obama campaign has been very, very successful hiding the race factor. It's not about race. Even when you talk about to the blacks, when you see the blacks talking on TV, oh, it's not a matter of race, their own special language. It's not a matter of race, that accent. It's just a matter of who can run a better country.
CNN and the BBC show the nation elected Barack Obama because of who he is and not because of the color of his skin.
They embraced, they hugged, they cried. An African American had defied the weight of history and had become the most powerful man in America.
Simply amazing for the country to come together. Race, all races, religions, it crosses all lines.
To those who seek peace and security, we support you. And to all those who have wondered if America's beacon still burns as bright, tonight we proved once more that the true strength of our nation comes not from the might of our arms or the scale of our wealth, but from the enduring power of our ideals, democracy, liberty, opportunity, and unyielding hope.
As Obama dons the mantle of leadership, his international popularity is likely to be an asset for U.S. diplomacy. Yet how the world sees Obama may now prove less important than how Obama sees the global challenges ahead. The world through the eyes of Barack Obama.
That's what I'm talking about.
If this man wins the U.S. presidency, then the soldiers he's talking to will be out of Iraq 16 months later.
What I proposed is a steady, deliberate drawdown over the course of 16 months, and I emphasized that to them.
This is the moment when the world should support the millions of Iraqis who seek to rebuild their lives, even as we pass responsibility to the Iraqi government and finally bring this war to a close. There are terrorists holed up in those mountains who murdered 3,000 Americans. They are plotting to strike again. If we have actionable intelligence about high-value terrorist targets and President Musharraf will not act, we will. The Afghan people need our troops and your troops, our support and your support to defeat the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, to develop their economy, and to help them rebuild their nation. We have too much at stake to turn back now. Now let me be clear. Israel's security is sacrosanct. It is non-negotiable. and Jerusalem will remain the capital of Israel, and it must remain undivided.
Well, the issue of it being undivided, I have said, and I said immediately after the speech, that word was poorly chosen. That what I was referring to is making sure that we're not setting up barbed wire across Israel.
In Israel, every senior politician was available to meet Barack Obama. The defense and foreign ministers traveled with him by helicopter. They flew to Sderot, an Israeli town frequently hit by rockets fired from the Gaza Strip. Barack Obama saw damaged houses, and here too, excitement and expectation for a man who only may be president.
I'm here to say, as an American and as a friend of Israel, that we stand with the people of Sderot and with all the people of Israel. The notion that somehow not talking to countries is punishment to them, which has been the guiding diplomatic principle of this administration, is ridiculous. We haven't shown a willingness to engage in the sort of direct negotiations with Iran that would give them carrots and sticks for a change in behavior. If Iran gets a nuclear weapon, it triggers a potential arms race, a nuclear arms race in the Middle East. That is a profound, game-changing shift when it comes to our national security. We have to do everything we can to prevent it. Partnership and cooperation among nations is not a choice. It is the only way, the one way, to protect our common security and advance our common humanity.
For Global Pulse, this is Evelyn Messenger. These are the news sources that were used in this special report.
Get more international news and views online at linktv.org. Watch the current episodes of Mosaic, Global Pulse, Latin Pulse, and the Mosaic Intelligence Report, and browse previous episodes online.
This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Link TV is the only US network dedicated to global and national news, uncompromising documentaries, and diverse cultural programs. Programs which connect you to the world.